9.5 is the devil, that's all I know. If from the perspective of a high-level player or a pro player, most people will say 9.5 is the devil, but there might be a decent amount of people who actually like 9.5 as well. So since I think probably most of you guys know what 9.5 is, I'll just do a very quick summary, or at least the important part. Basically what 9.5 did is it made everybody tankier in the early game, especially like levels 1 through 5. It made minions tankier, so you couldn't just like one-shot every wave and run around. So it just slowed down the game a bit and made it less snowbally. However, the main side effect, or the main effect, I guess, it had for somebody like me, or us soul laners, is it really, really dumbed down the lane, because it made it very hard to kill each other early game, so there wasn't a lot of skill expression. Like back in the day, pre 9.5, there was matchup knowledge you needed to worry about, early game kill potential you needed to worry about, being outplayed, all that. And a lot of that disappeared with 9.5. You guys have heard me talk about it and complain about it plenty of times probably. So that was one of the big effects it had on solo lane especially. That's why I hate it so much, and I'm happy that it's going to be reverted. Because now you actually have kill potential in the early game. What'd you get? Too long didn't read. God's got more health than prots baseline. Jungle camps and lane minions got like 50% more health than some prots. That's all going away. Yeah. Now, if you're a fucking noob, you're going to be sad that this is getting reverted. Because if you suck, you're going to die more. You're going to get punished for sucking more. So you're it's kind of a litmus test. If you like 9.5, you kind of just suck at the game. If you hate 9.5, well then you're a Giga Chad and you're good at the game. So like this change if you want to be a good player. One-shotting isn't skillful. You're engaging in hyperbole. It's not one-shotting. You might get one-shot more late game. I like 9.5 inches in my... Yeah, that was season 10, little bro. I could do a tier list, but it's just all speculation. It's just complete speculation, to be honest. Pele with her 1 extra auto and her new buff dispatch, we're done. Oh shit, yeah, Pele's gonna snowball so hard. Dude, pre 9.5, Pele could just blink on a mid laner, level 2, and just run them down with her 3. She can still kind of do that, but it's gonna be even worse. They're also scaling the tikis. All the tikis are gonna scale as well, dude. There's gonna be so much snowball. I can't wait. I actually cannot wait. To be fair, there's also gonna be less snowball in a way because everybody will just be easier to kill. And there's certain things, like it's been harder to siege now because they really buff phoenixes and towers. So the team with the lead sieging, you're gonna have more opportunity to kill them when they're sieging your phoenixes or diving or whatever. So that can get you back in the game. And revenge kills and shutdowns are worth a lot still, so them being easier to kill helps you a bit. Yeah, I was also thinking that combined with the tier 2 items, you combine the tier 2 items with 9.5, that is some crazy chaotic experimentation going on that's going to be fun. We're fucking lab rats. We're literally lab rats running around in a little maze trying to get to the cheese, and we're going to have the time of our lives. Because those tier 2 items are a lot more relevant with 9.5 being reverted. Because there's just so much more early game kill potential. So like that one item that gives you... That one tier 2 mystical item that gives you 15 magical damage per second. Right now, everybody has more base magical protection, so it's not as important. But with that being reverted, like that's actually going to hit pretty hard. You haven't seen me this happy in a while? Really? I've been pretty happy lately regardless. Nike about a feast on everyone. Oh my god. Should we just do a tier list? I just want to make some like 9.5 content, so I could just do a tier list. Okay, we gotta use our noggins here, guys. Let's work together on this one. Let me go over here as well. Actually, will I be in the way if I switch spots? Oh no, I'm perfectly not in the way over here. Let's go. Green looks hard to see. Yeah, it's just this freaking website, dude. Maybe this one's better. It's definitely easier to see, but it doesn't go in line with the other stuff. It's fine. This is A+. Everybody knows it's A+. Actually, and we'll go one more. We'll go one more and add a D. Or add a... Wait, I just added a D? Or add a C. Okay. Dude, every character can't be S. Bro can execute 35% while the enemy needs to be level 20 for 40%. Yeah, but couldn't you argue that Achilles is better when people are tankier because you have with that execute threshold because you don't have to full kill them anymore? D above C, I can't. Oh shit. How did that happen? Wait, it's actually easier to just go like this instead of... Okay. Let's use our noggins here, guys. Okay, what we're doing here, if you just joined the stream, calc is short for calculator, okay, guys? It's just slang. But if you just joined the stream, we're doing a 9.5 revert tier list, okay? We're trying to speculate. It's a lot of speculation here. What characters are going to be the best with the 9.5 revert, given all the other changes that have occurred? So we're talking like OP, flat pen, mage items right now. We're talking a bunch of character changes in the game, like raw ult hits like a truck, Thoth ult hits like a truck. You know, you can still kind of one-shot people early game on certain characters. So yeah, that's what we're trying to do. Okay, so let's just kind of go through this and see if we can speculate a little bit. People in chat are saying Achilles is going to be broken because of his high execute threshold, but I think it's kind of the opposite. I feel like maybe he's better when people are tankier because executes are a little bit more valuable. So I'm going to throw him in A. He's just fine. A for Achilles. Agni. He really hasn't seen... I mean, apart from his ult change, that doesn't really affect me that much. He's going to have good mage items, but he's also going to get it one-shot easier because he has no CC immunity. Real comment, thank you for the 6 months, dude. Welcome back to the Fonzo family. I appreciate that. Thank you. And Gollipog, thanks for the 10 months, dude. Welcome back to the Fonzo family. I appreciate that, dude. Thank you. I think Agni's probably actually worse because of that, so I'm going to throw him in B. EMC, he's gotten nerfed quite a bit. His items are pretty decent, and the fact that they're maybe squishy, he's gonna slam them with bluestone procs and all that. But yeah, it's gonna be crazy, Diz, but I think it'll be a lot of fun. I'm excited for it. And don't worry, if you guys are gonna be confused, I'll be releasing content trying to explain everything and break down what you should be playing and all that after 9.5 is reverted. Don't worry. I'll be here. Fine, I'm risking a lot by sending you this message. I figured out who's behind the deadlock smite poaching. Looking at the facts, smite content creators are being DM'd at random. DM rando. DM Brando. My goodness, I've already said too much. My goodness, you figured it out, buddy. You're the Sherlock around here. Yeah, I think so, Diz, but we'll see. Okay. It's time to kill. How long it takes to kill characters. Like, if it's a long time to kill, then it takes a while to kill them. If it's a short time to kill, then it doesn't take very long. It doesn't take a lot of abilities, a lot of autos. So that Mike's chat, that's pretty good. Okay. AMC, I think he probably gets slightly better, but I don't think he's that busted. They've nerfed him quite a bit. I'd say he's actually probably A for Agni. Opwash, honestly, probably horrible. Probably one of the worst characters in the game, pre 9.5. Because you got to think that mages are going to be a lot easier to kill and blink on early game. And he is like one of the worst at surviving. So he's probably... Deadlock whistleblower, first message, not like this. No shot. Okay. Amma just got buffed, right? She actually gets worse pre 9.5 because she gets bullied in lane more. So I'll throw her in B. On her with flat pen on his passive. And the fact that he's gotten buffs, he's probably going to be pretty freaking sick. I'd throw him in A+, probably. Maybe even S. He's gotten a ton of buffs since then as well. Anubis. One-shots people easier, but also gets one-shot easier. I feel like... Probably not that great. I'm going to throw him in C. When was the sigil mitigation build that was really strong? That was like last year. Season 10. Ao Kwang gets fed more in the early game. People have less magical protections. Probably can snowball a lot easier. Yeah, he probably gets really good in jungle. I'd probably throw Alkwang an S. Maybe A+. Yeah, I'll throw him an S. Why not? Afro, believe it or not, healers get a lot worse with this change. They get a lot worse because everyone's not as tanky, so the effective health that you're chewing through, like the healing isn't as important. And healing or anti-heal in general, I mean, obviously it's not 100%, but with one character down here that's going to be absolutely busted, considering he's getting a really cool buff this patch, and also the fact that he has crazy proc rate. Yeah, I feel like healers in general will probably just be pretty bad. I'm going to throw Afro in C. Now, you could argue that her damage immunity is a little bit more valuable because people are getting more one-shot, but yeah, I think I'd throw her in C. Paul's getting mega buffs. I already think this character is busted. He's one of the best pressure hunters in the game, and pressure will probably be even more important, so I'd actually probably throw Apollo A+. Maybe even S. True it is, yeah. Yeah, Soul Laners will get one shot by Alkwang early game. Arachne, D for... This is more out of spite. She actually probably will be fine, but she's Arachne, so fuck her. Go D. Ares. True, Ares has his auto attack buff on his 2 still, and that hits pretty freaking hard. Chains obviously hit really hard. There's some decent items for him right now. Mystical Mail, combine Mystical Mail. He's gonna be actually okay, yeah. Void Damaru. Wait a second. I think Ares probably like A+ with that. I think I'm good with that. Artemis probably really bad. There's nothing really that like after 9.5 that makes me think. If I can remember correctly, I don't think there's really much that would make me think she would be up anymore. She'll just be getting one shot more. Sadly, like a lot of the characters that are immobile / that are getting dove, like it's just not there. Yeah. RD buffs from the mid-season are actually insane. She should be... Yeah, she does have some crazy buffs coming up. That has nothing exactly to do with this pre 9.5, but she is a good bully in lane. Magical protections are going to be down, so... And the fact that you're just going to be able to bully more in lane because you're going to have more kill potential. I think a lot of the bully characters in solo will be a lot better. Athena... Probably not great. She's not bad. She's always fine. I just don't... There's nothing really that makes me want to say either way, and I'm just going to throw her in B because you are going to get punished more for dash taunting. Whereas Ares, you could argue that he can get punished more, but he got that nice buff to his ult with all the mitigation, and he actually like can kill people, whereas Athena doesn't really kill people. Honestly, yeah, I think Atlas is probably one of the best characters in the game. Actually, I might throw on her in S+ as well. Nah, let's reserve that. I'm throwing Atlas in S+. Atlas S+ because he has prot reduction in his ult. Flat pen items are really good, so even if you're playing him support, you could go like one divine item or one like Spear of Deso or whatever, and you're going to be one-shotting people, doing true damage to their carries with your ult and your flat pen. He's already a really good character right now. You could play him in mid if you're crazy enough. But yeah. I think honestly, it might be a little spicy to put him in S+. He might more deserve like S, but let's throw him in S+. That's fun. Awilix, crazy early game kill potential, and if you thought Awilix 2 is basically an execute, wait until you see her pre 9.5. Jungler items are pretty great right now for a character like her as well, between like Hydra's, Duality, Eyes getting buffed, and Awilix is definitely a nice eye character, so yeah, I'd throw Awilix probably an A+. Slap a Binding in there as well. Yeah, Binding's quite strong. Dude, Binding's gonna be so good. Holy cow, I didn't even realize Binding is gonna be so sick after that 9.5 revert. Holy, wasn't even thinking. Baba Yaga, let's just go B for Baba. Like, she's safe. She's one of the mages that can maybe not die to assassins as much early game, but she's gotten some nerfs lately, and she's just fine. And especially with the, she's not the greatest with the double flat pen or triple flat pen or whatever build you want to go with Baba, the meta build. She's more of like a tablet procer or that type of build. And oh, excuse me, sorry. Pretty important note is that you're probably not gonna be able to go like scaling mage builds in this patch. You're gonna need to like play characters that can abuse that double flat pen build. And Baba's just not really a character that can do that. So Botchus, he's kind of in the similar spot to Atlas. He's gotten a lot of buffs recently, and he's really strong. And I already thought he was like one of the best junglers because he could just run people down with all the items that you can go. Void Damaru, Pridwin is super strong. Pridwin's going to be one-shotting even more now because people won't have the base protections for it. You can go Mystical. Honestly, I'm going to throw Bacchus in S. He's already pretty tanky on his own. He gets proc from his one. He gets damage mitigation from his one. So he can actually still be pretty tanky while still doing a lot of damage. He can just run people down even more in support. So Baka actually slightly nerfed. He's like not the greatest ganker early game, so it's hard to get fed on him. The fact that people are squishier actually kind of hurts his true damage aspect of his 3. It's a small thing, but probably, yeah. The whale. What about Bake Kajira? He's a hard one. I feel like maybe kind of neutral about this. His autos are definitely going to hit a lot harder. And he can maybe just run people down with that. Plus, if you go like the Pridwin procs, you go Binding on him, you go Mystical, maybe even go like Infused. Like all that's going to add up to a lot of damage now. I think maybe he's probably a little bit better. I thought this character, I mean, I think he's kind of underrated right now, but if realistically, I would put him in like C or B. But I think after this change, maybe A or even A+. Baron's getting some nice buffs in this patch, and then if you combine that with pre 9.5, he's not actually a character that I think really benefits that much either way. I mean, he has healing in his kit, which, like I said, healing is a little bit overall worse with the changes, but I'll just throw him in A. Bastet got some buffs recently. Another character that's like fine. That has some good early game kill potential. Her 2 still does not hit very hard at all, and I think there's just going to be a lot of other characters that will just hit harder early game, but she's a fine character right now. I don't think 9.5 really adjusts that much for her, so I'll just throw her in A. Okay, so this is interesting. Lane bullies in general, I think, are going to be better in a pre 9.5 scenario. And I'm pretty sure kin size is going to get worse because people are going to have lower health pools. So that does hurt the kin size auto attack soul laner build. But I'm pretty sure with like Acts of Animosity and just like you could always just go like Xe, you're probably going to do a lot of damage when you're diving. Combine that with like a Thorns and stuff. So honestly, she's probably pretty good. I'd throw her A+. Kabrakin, I mean, can go the flat pen items and can one-shot even more. Like, can kind of go back to the fat Loki build with him. But they just nerfed this character's oh yeah, and Equinox on Bologna. They've nerfed this character's early game pressure so much lately. If you're gonna play him, I'd probably play him in the jungle, go fat Loki build, and he might go up, but I think in general he's still not the greatest. Kama, definitely really good. Always the problem with Kama is whether or not you can use a couple abilities and go in the air and kill people, and if people are squishier, that's just going to be a lot more accessible and easier to do, so that makes him a lot better. In fact, damage immune characters in general, characters that can do a lot of damage while not being targetable, such as Kama, such as like Daji and stuff, are a lot. Actually, he might be even like one of the better gods in the game now. He's just going to do so much damage in the air, and everyone's going to be squishier, and that's kind of how it was before. Honestly, dude, I might throw Serve in S+ as well. Dude, his 2, let's look at this real quick. His 2 right now, not to even count the fact that he's getting a really sick buff next patch where he can jump with his ult. He's no longer slowed or crippled. So you can ult somebody and jump away and jump them in the tower and they'll go flying across the map. But his 2 shreds, let's read this, 17 per tick. And it stacks 3 times. Doing the math on that, that's 51 procs shredded. If everybody has... it's just true damage. It's just basically always true damage unless you have like a significant magical defense item or build. You're going to make everybody take true damage besides the actual tanks, but even then you probably still will because you're going to have like a Void Damaru. You're going to have like a Binding with this. So even the tanks are going to get their protection shredded by like maybe even like 100 at that point. That is insane. That is ridiculous. You are going to be one-shotting people. Now combine Mystical Mail, combine Void Damaru, combine Pridwin, combine Infused Sigil. Yeah, this character's S+. Yeah, he's definitely S+. Especially with the changes they already made him. They made that cooldown change recently where if you jump on a god and kill the little phantom thing, you get your 3 back sooner. They just made this change, or they're making this change where you can jump in your ult. Yeah, he's definitely S+. CERN, another character has no CC move, just going to be easier to kill, just going to get dominated by a lot of these other characters that can just run at him. I think hunters in general are probably the most affected by this 9.5 change. Because another thing that happened with 9.5 is late game, tanks became a lot less threatening on carries because they had a lot more base protection, so they couldn't just get owned by base damage from the warriors and the guardians who were just building full tank. So hunters get affected by that a good bit. Chalk, I just think Chalk is already a really good character. Has access to some pretty good builds, can abuse a lot of the items that we'll own now, and just can kind of stalemate against all the bullies in lane. So I'd throw him in S+ or A+. No, not necessarily an anti-hunter patch. No, that's not necessarily true because crit gets a lot better with this patch as well. But yeah. Yo, Andre, thanks for 30 months, dude. Welcome back to the Fonzo family. I appreciate that. Thank you, thank you. Changa. They did give her that passive where she does extra damage when she's spamming her abilities. But honestly, I just think this character is not great. And another character that will just get run down. Karen. Oh, Karen's interesting. I would say she one-taps late. Yeah, but every mage will. And all the other mages will be able to do it from a safer scenario, Mwek. You know? Like, why pick Chang'e when you can pick Thoth, Ra, or anybody of these other characters that will do it from much farther away and much safer and have other benefits. Yeah, Karen with some damage will do a lot of damage, and he's like one of these guardian supports that can very easily do that. He can just roam around the map, get access to like a Chronos Pennant or like a Spear of Deso, and that can kind of own. But there's also the downside of like his shields aren't going to be as valuable because the health that is backing up those shields isn't as effective. So like if you're hitting a carry as a tank and they get this Karen shield, it's not going to be as annoying because it's actually not that tanky. So that does negatively hurt him, but or negatively affect him. That was kind of redundant. But anyway, I just don't think it changes that much for him. I would just throw him an A personally. Charybdis is already super strong right now. She's one of the safer gods, so she's gonna be able to survive a lot of this early game aggression. So I'd honestly, she's probably the best hunter. She has more pressure than a lot of these characters. If you were gonna do it in order, then I'd probably put Charybdis like that. So yeah. What is this tier list? Is it tier list for the speculative tier list on what we think the revert of 9.5 is gonna do to the characters in the game, the gods. Churn. Yeah, just gonna get pressured too much. I mean, maybe get some access to some early kills by ulting over to fights and stuff, but I'm not gonna put him down here because he's a bit safer than these other characters. But yeah, I think Chiron is gonna be pretty good. I think Hunter mids in general will be a little bit better. They're already pretty good right now, but there's that early pressure. You got to be a little bit careful because you can get countered by some long-range mages with double flat pen builds. Like they're gonna own you, but at the same time, you might be able to own them. So it's a bit of a toss-up, I'd say. Kronos, probably just really bad. He's just a scaling character. Like, you're not going to be able to live the early game ganks. You're not going to be able to scale. You don't have the range. You can one-shot with other characters from much farther away. Like, he's probably just like a C-tier character. Ooh, Cleo, and not my dog. When did Cleo release? I forget when Cleo came out. Cleodna. Smite release. Queen of the Banshees. Oh, she came out in 8.10. She actually came out before 9.5. And she was really good before 9.5. And Soul Eater is really strong right now, and she can just one-shot people in the wall. Really good item access between like Heartseeker being good. The tier 2 of Heartseeker is going to be good. Dude, there's so much to try. It's going to be so fun. Holy fuck. I'm actually, there's a tear coming down from my eye. The more and more I realize, like, some of this stuff. I don't know if I want to put her quite S+. But honestly, you could play her solo, you could play her mid, you could play her jungle. Honestly, I've seen her play at ADC quite a bit with some potential. And she'll just one-shot people from inside the wall. And damage, like I said, characters like Kama, Daji, people can get all their damage off without being targetable. Yeah, Okay, I've convinced myself. You guys convinced me as well. We'll go S+. Cthulhu. Kin size is a little bit worse. Not going to be as good of a build because health pools are going to be smaller. So that helps him a little bit. He does a lot of damage in his ult. He has a lot of good items that he can go. He's not like a Pridwin user, but he does have good synergy with Mystical and Fuse if you want to go that route. Thorn's going to be better. And Cthulhu 1 can proc abilities now. So that's pretty nice. It doesn't really affect that much, I'd say. I'd say another character, he maybe gets slightly better because of some of these things. He's also good against lane bullies, so he can stalemate a lot of these early pressures. Like if you're a noob and you are afraid of 9.5 Revert and afraid you're just going to get owned in lane because you're not good enough, you can still pick characters like Cthulhu or Chalk and you just won't lose lane and you'll be fine. So I'd say he's probably A+. Okay, now another example of a lane bully that has been buffed a ton lately, has good items, can one-shot more late game while diving, has a lot more threat and kill potential on ADCs and shit. Sorry, excuse my French. Oh, true, Diz. Wait, do you have to hit an ability for that, or do you just have to hit them? But you're actually right about that. Curse Weaver, that could be nice. Yeah, I think Kukulkan's probably S. Honestly, I might argue even S+. You can go Mystical on him. All the meta items are good. You can go Binary, you can go Pridwin. He probably is just the best soul laner because he's already really good right now, and lane bullies in general will be better. I think I'll throw him S+. Sending hate from what the hell? Cupid has some pretty sick buffs in this patch. I'm not gonna lie. He gets some crazy attack speed from his 3 now. He also gets better in general because he's a very good counter pick character that like if you have kill potential on people like characters like Heim or like Cerninos or Medusa, like characters that are going to be owned by the cripple. So he gets better in that sense, but still no CC immunity on him. He's going to get owned by a lot of these characters. He's not going to have a good matchup into Charybdis because Charybdis can always 3 his ult. Decent to Apollo. I'd probably say he's A+. He might even be better though. Daji, I think probably S. Like I said, just damage immune characters can get all their damage off while being untargetable / damage immune. She's not damage immune, to be fair. Like if you knew what ult when Daji's in the air, you'll kill her, but she's just untargetable. So that's still mostly damage immune. No, cripples don't stop Charybdis 3, correct? Am I wrong? But yeah, she's gonna be probably S. Lots of early game kill potential as well. Yeah, they don't. Okay, just making sure. Donza's getting some crazy buffs this patch. I'd also throw probably A+. I'd say Donza's probably A+. He's already gotten a ton of buffs lately, and you can just ult into lane and one-shot people now, probably. Also, of course, if you just joined the stream, calc is short for calculator. I'm just using slang. But also, when I say one-shot, I don't mean literally one-shot. I just mean they're going to be squishier. So a lot more kill potential. Discordia passive, a lot stronger now. That extra power is going to help you. I mean, I was abusing Disco passive before 9.5 like crazy because you could already kind of bully in lanes and kind of snowball off of that, and Discordia helps with that a lot. However, when you're just playing ranked, like if you just want to pick Disco to be Disco, it's not as impactful, but still good with all the flat pen items. Good with it's still going to help your teammates even if they're not like recognizing that they're doing it. But so actually, because she's good with the items as well, I'll throw her A+. Erlang. Wait, what about Erlang? I feel like mannequins, junglers in general, of course, it's pretty obvious they'd be better, but actually, yeah, he's probably S. He's probably S. I think mannequins, warriors, jungles in general are just going to be a lot better. And obviously Erling's really good at that. He still has a lot of early game kill potential. I don't think he's quite S+, TBH. But yeah, wait, the music's broken. Oh, we have no songs in the queue. Nobody likes music, I guess. You guys sick of music now? He's killing your mid laner every your mid laner level 2 every game. Yeah, I mean, he's going to be good at that. I don't think he'll do it every game. He was really good at it before because he had the knockup, but like the only CC you're going to have is your 2. So they can always just like beads and walk away a lot of the time if they don't position horribly. Yeah, that's crazy, Cam. Like, because they're speaking a different language. ESET, healing less valuable, shielding less valuable, but she's also just easier to kill. Actually, yeah. I think she just gets hurt more than helped by this. Her 1 is quicker, but I don't... And she does have pressure, but is she going to have pressure with double flat pen? Is she going to have pressure over a lot of these? She's good with the items. I'll just throw her an A. I mean, a lot of this is speculation, so it's hard to say, but... Fafnir? I mean, he has gotten a lot of buffs as well. And he is pretty freaking good. He just doesn't have pressure. Like, I'm pretty sure you'd just rather be a lot of these other characters because they'll just have more pressure. He will one-shot people. I'll throw him an A, though. I'd say he's probably just standard. Except I'm going to put ESET in B. Fenrir. Gotta be a sub aid. I don't know about Fenrir. He's probably just he's probably also just fine. I don't think he gets affected that much either way. I mean, the early game kill potential is good for him, of course, but like he's not as like broken at doing something like that as some of these other characters. I'll just throw A, yeah. Freya's gotten some buffs recently, but also very easy to kill, very easy to run down. The funny thing about Freya is that she one-shots regardless. So, I don't even know if it matters. Lower magical protections help her a lot, especially in the 1v1 matchup in lane. So maybe just one-shot even more. Her ult's going to hit harder. But again, can also just get run down. She can get run down pretty hard. This one's a toss-up, to be fair. I'm going to also throw her an A. Ganesh. He's probably just standard. Don't know if it affects him that much either way. Has the prot trade on his ult, which is nice, but I think you want to be more active on the map right. I say right now, but when these changes occur, you're going to want to be more active on the map, and Ganesh just really isn't that active of a character. Another kind of example of that is Geb. True, Geb solo did get a whole lot better, and I love Geb, and I think he's super underrated in solo. He's freaking... In fact, if you get out of the early game, he's like one of the most busted characters in my opinion, and he's really good with all the items. Okay. Convince myself to at least put him in A+. But he is a bad early game. He's going to get one shot even more. It's going to be hard to get out of that early game. Okay, I've convinced myself the other way. He gets a whole lot better late game, but he gets a whole lot worse with these changes. Because you're just going to get bullied. You're going to lose so much gold and get bullied super hard in the early game if you face, like, you won't even be able to play the game against a Kokolin, for example. So, I take it back. That's fine, Gentle. But you just love Nox, so that's why you ban Geb, because he cleanses your combo. Gilga Jungle, probably one of the better characters now. Is he probably you guys think he's probably the best jungler in the game? Because he's still going to be tanky. The HP 5 from his 1 doesn't get affected. Like, that helps his tankiness a lot. Some really good items. I'd throw him in S. Probably not S+ worthy, but definitely really good. Again, warrior junglers in general are going to be good. True, I forgot about Lancelot. Guan, healing in general, is going to be down. Going to get bullied more. Probably not as good. It's pretty simple. When matchups are important, Guan is a lot less valuable because he can just get bullied a lot. And if Kokolin's really good and some other like soul laners that can interrupt it and actually have some kill potential early game. But the random tier 2s he gets should help now. Oh, that's a good point, actually, Gentle. That does help him a lot. You're going to... Wait, he doesn't get a tier 2, though. He only gets tier 1, silly. I guess you can get easier access to a tier 2, but... He actually just debated me. I wasn't thinking. Hachi just safe, so he'll probably be pretty standard. Not a lot of pressure. But he's fine. He's also good with crit, and I think crit will be a lot better. So I'll just throw him A. Probably standard. Hades! If this was Smite 2 Hades, he'd be freaking busted. You wouldn't live his combo ever. But since it's this current Hades, they nerfed his pressure a bit. So a lot of characters, there's either characters that got buffed a ton after 9.5, and there's characters that got nerfed a ton. He's kind of done both, right? He's gotten some buffs, like especially like his ult, some passive stuff, but he's also gotten nerfed because of his pressure that he had in SPL and stuff. I don't really think it affects him that much. You definitely get a lot of pressure in solo, and pressure is going to be more important, but yeah, I'll throw him in A. Another kind of a toss-up. No, this was the tankiness patch. Made everybody a lot tankier. Slushy. Hebo back to one-shotting people. Perhaps. Really good with double flat pen. King can kind of get one-shot himself, of course. He's another Feast or Famine character. And Hebo jungle, yeah, that could be better. I'd say he's probably better with this. Because you can go blink as well on Hebo and just try and one-shot people. He's one of these characters where you can run it the F down, and if you're getting kills and trades and stuff, you actually feel fine. So I'd throw him an A+. Really good with the builds, like I said. Heim. Greg. Thanks for the 22 months, bro. Welcome back to the Fonzo family. I appreciate that. Thank you, dude. Trying to seem like Hebo? No, they're a lot different. Or a lot different. When you blink on a Chang'e, or when you blink on a Hebo, as a jungler or anybody in the game, if they have a double flat pen build, they are much more likely to one-shot you than a Chang'e will. Because you can always just bead Chang'e ult and like hit her, and you'll kill her. Whereas if Hebo 3 ults you, unless you're like Fenrir, first of all, you can't hit him in his ult. If he 3 ults you with double flat pen pre 9.5, that's like 90% of your HP. So he's just a lot better actually one-shotting people. Early game at least. Chang'e ult obviously slams late game, but Heim, I'd say also just pretty standard. Since crit's probably better, Heim's not a great crit user, but he's just super safe. Not gonna get his one-shot early game. Yeah, I'd throw him in A. Hell hits so freaking hard, bro. Right now, even with everybody having a lot of magical protections base, her 3-1 late game, like, does a gajillion damage. But she's going to be easier to kill. But she has pressure. But healing is worse. But she still does a fuck ton of damage. Yeah, her 2 does give you a lot of pen. Flat pen reduction. I'll throw her an A. Don't know if dude, Hera's gotten a lot of buffs lately, and Argus is gonna do so much damage. Dude, Argus is, it shouldn't even be a Hera like icon here. It should be Argus for pre 9.5 to see how OP Argus himself will be. I'll just throw her an A for now. She might end up being pretty good, but she can also get run the fuck down. So Hurrick, probably one of the better soul laners. His passive is super strong. He can do a lot of damage with that now. But I'll throw him an A+. Definitely better than like A, but Horus, honestly, with the buffs to his ult as well, combined with the fact that he's one of the best like kill pressure supports in the game, he's gonna be really good in duo for forcing kills. Herc S+? Why S+ for Herc? I think actually Horus might be S. He's probably one of the best supports you should play. Like I said, you want to be really active on the map, and he's really good at that. He's gonna force kills often. What do you think Herc should be S+, Mark? I just don't know. Just in general, I don't want to put him that high because he's still, like, you're just going to be able to kill him pretty easily when he uses 1 on waves. And he still gets actually kind of bullied by some of the better characters, but yeah, Swammy, pretty crazy, right? Hui, honestly, probably horrible. Like, he's okay with crit as well, but like, I'm just saying that assuming that crit will be a lot better. I mean, I think inherently it will. Doesn't mean that it will be the meta build, but also, yeah, I just think, I mean, he's already really freaking bad, so. Hunbats, Doesn't really do everything that I've been talking about the good junglers will do, but he's always just fine. And with like a Boomba's build late game, you do kind of one shot with your auto attack cancels. But Ishtar, good pressure, probably one of the better characters. Just good early game, so probably A+. Ishel's already pretty freaking good. Her healing is going to be less important. Not that less important. It's not like healing is going to be that much worse, but her early game kill potential is going to be even crazier. And she already has some crazy early game kill potential with her ability spam with her one. It's such a short cooldown. Go Horn Shard. Yeah, I'd say she's probably A+. It's going to be a bit rough if she gets blinked on, but you might just kill people. She's kind of like Hebo in that way, where like you're just going to try and kill people with double flat pen probably. So I think she probably is A+. Izanami, good at pressure, but just way too easy to kill, honestly. I just don't think it's worth. She's probably C. Janice is weird. Swing on them instead? True. You could just go blink his shell and blink on him and one-shot him. Janice is kind of weird. He's pretty safe. He can do a lot of damage from range. I just throw him A. A good Janice player. A good Janice player with pre 9.5 could be pretty sick. Isn't the best abuser of double flat pen though. Kind of want to rush CDR. And like maybe you could go like Deso do more, but you need more CDR than that, so. Dringue with crit, with duality and hiders. No, I'm just kidding. Good with the crit build, but just bad early game. So if you can get to late game, you're gonna one-shot people even more, of course, but just a bad early game, so probably not worth. Yorm with his recent changes and the fact that he's a lane bully and the fact that people are gonna have less magical protections, actually pretty good for him. In fact, now that I think about it, Yorm got really hurt by that, by 9.5. No, I don't think so, Mike. That tier 2 armor, yeah, that's gonna ruin him in lane, but like not everybody else is gonna go that, and it's not really that big of a deal. The tier 2 armor item, if you guys know what we're talking about, there's an item that's being added that's the tier 2 of Mystical Mail, or not tier 2 Mystical Mail, tier 2 of Midgardian Mail, I think, that every 4th auto that somebody hits you with, you get a 75 health shield, and it works on Yorm. So if he's just spamming his breath on you, you just keep getting shields. So it's a pretty good Yorm counter in lane. So that does hurt him, but I don't think that's that big of a deal. I think just the fact that he's going to be able to one-shot people even more. Your ult's going to be a little bit more threatening. Stuff like that. And he's already a good character with auto attack items. Yo, Gentle Slayer, thanks for the Twitch Prime, dude. Welcome to the Fonzo family. I appreciate that. Thank you, bro. Kali just got the quality of life buff, some cool changes. But I mean, she does have the benefit of like being damage immune while killing everybody. But she's just too reliant on items, I think. I think like you're just gonna get out jungled by like all these other characters, I think. The oboe change does help Kali, but does it help her enough? I would bet no. Like, okay, like let's say pre 9.5, lots of snowball, everybody's killing each other really easily. If your teammate locks in Kali and the enemy locks in Kama, locks in Erlang, Gilga jungle, like which one are you gonna be more happy with? You know? Yeah, Eric, thanks for the tier 1. Welcome to the Fonzo family. I appreciate that. Thank you, thank you. Auto attack assassins have 2 flat pen attack speed options though. Yeah, true. Yeah, I don't know. I just don't know if that really matters. AA Kepri S+. Okay, what about Kepri? Again, just not that active of a character. His res is kind of nice though in a situation like this. And he does have a decent amount of lane pressure if you play him correctly. So I'd just throw him in A. Probably fine. Arthur. Pretty much good in every single lane. Can be a lane bully, so I think that helps him a lot. Good. He's fine with a lot of the items right now. Can maybe even be like a lot more threatening late game with his blink charge ult. Maybe he'll do like half of somebody's HP, especially with like Pridwin stuff. Okay, I think probably A+. Can compete with some of the lane bullies, like I said. Probably go A+. Cuckoo, probably not that great. Nah, you're just gonna get blinked on early game. He's probably really bad. He's not even necessarily the best with like the flat pen builds either. Kumba D goes without saying. Kuzenbo. Okay, the one problem is he's sort of similar to yeah, when I was talking about this, like if you play him in solo, you're just gonna lose a lot of gold early game. Unless Conduit's really good. If they nerf the minion HP, that's something I haven't really addressed, but if they nerf the minion HP, Guardians are gonna be a lot better because they can actually clear and they won't lose as much gold. But if they don't do that, I mean, I'm assuming they are because that's part of 9.5. Or if Conduit's like good enough and you can actually get gold, like he becomes insane because he already is super tanky and one-shots people with all of his items and his reflect damage. Your 2 is going to own, Mystical is going to own, Pretty Wind's going to own, Binding's going to own, Void Tomorrow is going to own, Thorns is going to own, Blink is going to own. Literally everything is just going to one-shot carries. But there also is the possibility that people won't even like favor carries as much, or like super immobile like ADCs. Maybe they'll play something else completely, you know what I mean? So the meta may change in that way. So, but yeah, for the time being, I'll throw him A+, just he's so good with all the items. Lance is already the best jungler in the game. I don't think anything really changes. Just gonna be even better. He already overkills people. What I mean by overkill, if you just got to the stream, calc is short for calculator. It's just slang, but he overkills people, and that means that if you use like 3 abilities, or if you use your whole kit, you literally do more damage than their health bar, basically, their entire health bar. So the fact that people are squishier means he maybe can kill 2 people with that, or can kill him twice in 1 health bar, you know what I mean? Like, so it's gonna be a lot easier to do that. And he's also already the best jungler, like I said. However, I think that he can, like, you can kind of get run at as a Lancelot by some warrior jungles early game. Like before 5. Once you hit 5, you're get out of jail free card. But before that, it can be a little bit rough, but I don't think it matters. Loki, another like whatever character. I don't think this much changes. Obviously one shots people a little bit easier late game, but I don't really think that matters that much. Maman. I saw Mike was saying that she's S+. Why do you think she's S+? The fact that she can proc items now with her 1 at 25%. Johnny, thank you for the 67 months, dude. Welcome back to the Fonzer family. Don't be nervous. Why are you nervous? It's exciting if you're talking about this. I think that is nice for her, and that kill potential is pretty sick. But I don't think it puts her in S+. I think maybe A+. The fact that everybody isn't going to have those base magical protections scaling so hard and making them tanky against her definitely helps. Some good items for her as well. Also, like that tier 2 Bancrofts item is probably really... Ooh, tier 2 Bancrofts. The new tier 2 Bancrofts is probably sick on her. Yeah, she's going to be squishier herself, but when you look at when you're looking at assassins or glass cannons, yeah, I don't think you really need to care about that much. It doesn't matter as much for them. Marty. Marty pretty freaking good. I mean, they nerfed his damage on his ult so it doesn't one-shot as much, but it still hits really hard. And if people are squishier, it might hit even a little bit harder, but physical damage isn't as relevant in this discussion because 9.5 was really like magical protection heavy. But yeah, honestly, I mean, I'll throw him A+ probably. Maui's got some nice recent buffs and pretty good lane pressure and everything. I think himself doesn't actually like benefit that much. I'll just throw him A. Medusa, dude, her ult, we were talking about earlier, her ult scales for, it's 700 at max rank for 100% of your physical power, and it's 85% even if they're looking away. So, like, she's going to hit so hard. And like I said, physical mids in general, I think Medusa's actually really strong right now. I've been seeing her a lot in rank, and she is owning with the builds. Because Soul Eater's good on her, Duality's good on her, Hydra's fine on her, Bluestone, Crusher, Heartseeker, everything. Like, there's so many good items for her, so... yeah, she just hits hard in general. She has so much kill potential early game as well. If she clicks 1... auto cancels into her dash and 1s you and 2s you. Like, it's literally like 1,200 damage in like 2 seconds. It's ridiculous. So yeah, she's probably pretty freaking good. Pretty easy to kill if you get on top of her though. So that's the only reason I wouldn't put her higher. Yeah. Mercury, just not the greatest in the early game, but crit's gonna be nice and a little bit better. He has some good items. I think Erendite's kind of underrated now, especially on him. Stuff like Serrated. That tier 2 item that gives you movement speed might be pretty nice on him, actually. Not going to be nearly as threatening as some of these other characters, but I would say he's probably worth playing. Merlin is actually decent with Flat Pen. His 2 shreds procs as well in his fire stance. That's going to hit pretty hard. Still pretty easy to kill. He might be pretty good though. He can get away with both builds, right? He can go like a tablet build and scale, which won't be as good now, but I'd say he's probably pretty decent. Leaderoy, thanks for the 6 months, dude. Welcome back to the Fonzo family. I appreciate that. Thank you, dude. Morgan Le Fay is probably one of the better mages at punishing people for blinking on her. She's really good at self-peel and doing enough damage to kill people. So I'd also throw her probably an A+. Because like a lot of these characters that are going to be blinking on her early game, she can actually threaten. And if she gets some double flat pen online, honestly, I'd say she's probably better than these mages at it as well. Because she's also got the capability of being like a good follow-up mage. But she'll be really good. At punishing people for running at her. Okay, dude. Mulan. The negative is that she's gonna be easier to kill, easier to gank. But dude, she's already insane and does so much damage. And lane bullies in general are probably gonna be better. She might be S+. She might be S+ or S. Like I still think Kakolin's the safer bet. And if you play this matchup, you'll be fine probably either way, unless you get ganked. Like especially if you get ganked as Mulan, it might be rough. But like, dude, they buffed her a lot recently. She's gonna get her buffs too so early. You can get it like 3 minutes into the game, and it's gonna start hitting so hard. Oh my goodness. Honestly, okay, since I'm not gonna make an extra tier, I might do this. I might do it kind of like a little bit in order. Something like that, probably. So yeah, she probably will be one of the better characters in the game now. Naja. He does have prot reduction on his one. I don't know if it's really not relevant. His he's been weird lately. He's better in scenarios where you can have like follow-up and everything and do the training wheels, but honestly, probably not great. I'll throw him in B. Neith, physical mids in general, I think are going to be pretty good. Her ult's still going to one-shot. They nerfed it slightly, but it's not going to be enough for this 9.5 revert. Items are really good on her as well. Actually, dude, we were also on Jade Dragons and other teams. We were spamming Neith mid because that early game kill potential can just snowball so easily. So if you're ulting around the map, yeah, I mean, especially with organization in a competitive setting, just like snowballing off Neith ults and affecting side lanes, but definitely like in ranked as well. So yeah, I'd say Neith's probably S actually. Nem got some recent buffs, some good items for her, some flat pen on auto attack speed, AA jungler items. Crit Nem's also pretty underrated in my opinion. You can kind of slam with that. Also, one of the better junglers at surviving these other characters early game. So honestly, I'd probably put her A+. Nike, probably pretty freaking good as well. She just does a lot of damage. She's gotten some damage buffs. She has prot reduction on her 1 as well. I forgot about that. Didn't they buff the prot reduction on her 1? Am I correct? Yeah, I know, Big Meech. It's crazy, right? I'm pretty sure they did, right? I don't think so. Really? Am I misremembering? I think she'll be good either way, though. She's really good with a lot of the items as well, except for Pridwin, of course. Don't buy Pridwin on Nike. I think maybe I'll throw in an A+. She hasn't been touched in a while. I don't think that's true. I'm pretty sure she got buffed recently. I think you're lying to me, Dillywiggle. Nike changes Smite patch. This usually has a history of changes. View history. Wait. This isn't going to show me. Is it going to show me down here? Changelog here. Oh. Oh, this was last year. They increased the protection shred. But I swear it was more recent. Maybe I'm smoking crack. But anyway. Yeah, so she's already gonna be, she'll be fine though. Nox. Honestly, not great, I don't think. Because you can kind of, like, she's fine in support. That's the only role I'm thinking about right now. I wouldn't play her in mid. I wouldn't play her in jungle and other stuff, but Gentle Slayer is so sad. But yeah, I think even in support, it's probably just not that worth. You can maybe punish people for diving you and stuff, but I think you just want to be more active, I think, so. Nuwa! Their minion's still proccing items, and her ult's going to hit even harder. And, dude, I've been going a lot of proc builds with her, of course, just for fun for the minion changes. But your ult, right now, with Archmage's Gem, Soul Gem, Soul Reaver, and just like proc items in general, it hits pretty freaking hard. You can do like 40% of Squishy's health with it, so it's going to do even more. But that is late game. But our early game really isn't that bad anymore. But also at the same time, you will get one shot. People are going to blink on you, and you're not going to be as good at surviving that. So actually, she gets a bit worse. And her 2 does reduce prot, so that's pretty nice. But I do think the major downside is that you will get one shot early game. So probably got to be careful with that. Nut is kind of just like a toss-up. I don't know if this really matters that much. She does have some good pressure and stuff, but she's still really easy to kill, so I don't think she's gonna be as good as the other characters. Odin, I feel like we haven't actually talked about warriors that much. Probably just standard as well. Don't think he really benefits that much. Gonna do a little bit more damage with a lot of the meta items. Maybe a little bit better at diving. But yeah, not really that affected. Oleron, crazy pressure, gonna one-shot even more. Crit is gonna be sick on him. He's probably one of the best hunters in the game after this, because he still has a lot of pressure early game. And he can get dove, but he's also really, really good at not getting dove, as in like killing the people that are diving him. So I would say he's probably S. Osiris, very good as well. Another good lane bully, gonna be fine in every single lane. Gonna do even more damage with the Axe of Animosity build. Can also go the mitigation build, and that's going to be a little bit more useful. Also going to be good in jungle. Okay, just because he has that flexibility. I mean, I've been spamming Osiris jungle right now, and I think it's really good and fun, personally. And Chop Chop, that'll get even better. We already talked about that. Pele, also a lot better, I think. She's getting a changes patch where her 3 is going to proc item effects, ability item effects at 25%. So that's pretty sick as well. They have the extra hit of her ult that they added to her a while ago, which is probably in part because she got worse after 9.5, because she's more of a Snowball, run it down type character. So she was worse at that. So yeah, definitely very strong. Probably one of the better junglers in the game. Not quite in the same range of like being able to one-shot people while being a damage immune, but she definitely does more damage early game than some of these characters, and can definitely snowball off of that. So Persephone, this character does do a lot of damage, but you got to get items online for that. Good with the double flat pen, probably just standard. Probably I'd play her over some other mages, but Poseidon getting some buffs, but also probably just pretty standard, maybe even worse. I'd probably throw him in B. His 2 still has a really long cooldown, and yeah, he's gonna hit really hard, of course. But Raw, this is a weird one because he is really good with the build. He's still relatively easy to kill early game, so you're gonna get punished, but you can also play really far back as Raw and just save farm. And like I said, dude, his ult is going to hit so hard because it still has the 5% maximum health true damage on it, and it already basically one-shots people and does a lot of damage to tanks. So I'd say he's probably pretty good, one of the better mages, but I don't think he's quite that busted because you have to rely on hitting that ult, which can be hard in a lot of ranked games for most people, and still going to be pretty easy to kill. Raijin, pretty good with double flat pen. Has gotten some nerfs, but I still think I've seen him still in ranked like a little bit, and he still seems pretty good and has some success. And that double flat pen and just being able to one-shot people with your combo, your 2-1 combo, I think pretty good. Rama's probably fine, some decent pressure. He's really easy to run down. With the right dive comp, though, obviously he's going to be able to overkill people. So I'll throw him in A, though. Probably not enough. Rat, slightly better. Prot shred on his 2 is safe, can kind of easily farm. Good in solo as well. Has a lot more like dive potential. Good with all the items. So yeah, I'd throw him in A+. I'm going to zoom out once so I can actually see which characters are up next. Robin, another character that can kind of get a lot of damage off while being damage immune, because you can go, you ult and you can 2, and just spam your abilities. So, but I wouldn't say he's that crazy. Probably just A+. Scylla's getting a buff this patch. Her buffs are kind of interesting, but yeah, probably she's probably fine. You can get away with her. You can scale on her because she's one of the safer mages. But yeah, maybe just inconsistent. I'll throw her an A+, but I kind of want to throw her an A. Sarket's also gotten a lot of buffs recently. And she is a character you can go crit with and like overkill people. I think she'll be pretty good, to be honest. I'm gonna throw her an A+ as well. Set. Set's an interesting one. Has a lot of flexibility. Characters like him were really good pre 9.5 in mid lane because they could bully mages and stuff. He's gotten some buffs recently because he saw a lot less play. But honestly, yeah, we'll throw him an A+. I'll throw him an A+. Shiva, I'm just throwing him an A. Screw that character. He's fine. He's just lukewarm. That's all he's gonna be. Is this live? Yes, this is live. Sorry, I'm trying to speedrun this. Scotty, too easy to kill. Does a lot of damage, but too easy to kill. Sobek, I'd say pretty good. Put people out of position early game. Get a lot of picks off of him. Snowball off that. I'd say nice. Soul, also just kind of standard. Don't think it affects her that much one way or the other. Less magical protection is obviously good for early game pressure. And she's going to be good with that tier 2 Bancrofts as well, actually. Now that I think about that. She could also rush that. And they might actually put her in A+ for that reason. A lot of A+ characters. A lot of it's speculation, of course. Honestly, another lukewarm character. He's probably good, but he could definitely get bullied more. 9.5 definitely helped Wukong because that 9.5 combined with his passive allowed him to get out of some lanes that he would actually get pretty bullied in before. So I think it actually helps get him lower, which is good. Surtur, I think, is very good. In crazy lane bully and lane pressure potential, and I think he's gonna have a lot of potential in the jungle, because he came out after 9.5, and if he came out before 9.5, he would have been one of the better warrior jungles. Crazy good early game, good gank potential. So Susano overkilling people pretty easily. Probably one of the better junglers. Just not the greatest in the early game, so I'm not going to throw him higher than these other characters. Swan is probably just standard A. Good pressure and everything. But a lot of these meta characters will try and run him down. Terra's pretty good right now, but also just probably another lukewarm character. Thanatos, Feast or Famine like always. And while he does benefit a bit from being able to kill people easier early game, he himself is easier to kill. And a lot of the characters like up here can just run him down early. So I'll throw him in A+ as well. Mori, already late game one shots with her invis, dude. I'm putting her in S. Also keep in mind that a lot of the meta characters you want to turn into, like if Kama's really good, Daji's really good, Gilga's really good, Pele, these are insane transformations for her. And she's really good with the flat pen build. And right now, there's like clips on my stream, it's been happening recently. Late game, she overkills people with her combo. If you go invis and stun somebody auto to auto, they literally die. So imagine how much more they're gonna get one shot. Yeah. Sure, but more you can use a 3 or half the time? What do you mean? Well, the argument against that is that her base kit's actually really good. Hardest guy in the game? Hell no. Oh, you're saying bugged. Yeah. Thor, jungle-wise, he gets worse because he is not a run-it-down early game character that can just kill people. He himself will get run down and out-pressured, and you can lose the game off of it. So, and solo, he will be able to have like more kill potential, but it will also get bullied by a lot of these characters and lose a lot of gold. So honestly, he gets a lot worse. I'll throw him in B. Thoth, I think probably S. Now, he is very easy to kill, but he just has way too much range. Double flat pen is going to be insane on him combined with his passive flat pen. He can one-shot people from very far away with his ult. He already does a lot of damage with that and one-shots people. Imagine how much more he'll one-shot. I don't think he's quite at the top Slayer. He's just going to get... a lot of these characters are very good against him. You are going to get run down. But he's one of the mages where it's worth it, because if you just play a little bit safe... But yeah, so pretty freaking good. Tiamat, not very good with the double flat pen build. She's fine with it, but much better equipped for like a tablet proc or just a proc build in general. So yeah, and just not the greatest pressure early game. So I'll throw her A. Tsukiyomi, also seen some recent buffs. Has some versatility in multiple lanes, mid, jungle, ADC, solo. Good with the meta build. Yeah, I'll throw him an A+. But again, another character pre-5 that can get run down, so you can get snowballed on. Tier, literally like the definition of lukewarm. Tier with his... Yeah, he has been getting a lot of buffs lately, and he is good against a lot of bullies. He can stalemate them. I'm just going to throw an A+, though. I don't think he gets affected that much one way or the other. Just pretty lukewarm. Uller still gets, like, what? Like, 30 power at level 5 from his passive, which is pretty freaking sick. Good items right now for him. Yeah, he's probably pretty good. Plus like hunter mids in general. He's gonna have good pressure. I'd throw him there. Vamana. Yeah, probably just fine. I'd honestly probably Vamana's like B, to be honest. All his items got nerfed now. All of Uller's items? Well, Transcendence kind of adjusted and it's not as good on him anymore, but you got to think Blue Tiki is going to be giving you 50% CDR, so that's nice for him. Duality is actually good on him. Hydra's is fine on him right now. Failnaught is good. Soul Eater is really good right now. Bluestone is still strong. Jotun's is kind of back because they gave it a little bit more fizz power. There's like it's fine. And just that early game kill potential is going to be really good, I think. Yeah. Vulcan, he got some big nerfs in this patch because he was pretty freaking broken with his 2 proccing items. And there were some big nerfs. They kind of gutted his turret. It'll still hit pretty hard, especially once you get items online. But I will throw him in. He's like deceptively hard to kill. I mean, really early game he's easy to kill, but once you get some like a do more online movement speed plus your passive plus your meatball on people blinking on you, it's gonna be hard to like you can peel yourself pretty good. I'd throw him in A+ though, because his turret's still gonna be pretty broken. X-Ball's Bola is proc items now, but I just don't know how what's that like what are you gonna build on X-Ball for that to work? Like you want to build full attack speed, full like auto attack on him. So maybe he like throw in a duality, I guess, but like you're not gonna throw in like a Heart Seeker, for example. So yeah, I don't know. He's probably fine. I'd throw him in A. Jington, another character is probably just fine. Not even much to talk about with him. Zoom out again. Yamoja, healing and shielding are a little bit worse. Like I said, we've referenced that a lot, but a little bit more threatening herself because she can spam her one on like people that she locked in with her ult, so she can kind of solo people more. But she's another toss-up. I'd just throw her an A. Ymir, decent pressure. Another character that can kind of threaten people on his own. Now they don't have as much base magical protections, but also just kind of lukewarm. Yuhong's gotten another buff. They sped up his dueling dragons. I had to test that out to see the feel for it, but I think this character is pretty good. Very easy at surviving. That 2, he has Prot Shred on his 1, I believe, right? That 2-1 combo already does a lot. It's going to do even more. Very safe. And if his ult is sped up significantly and feels a lot better, that's like the only hard part of his kit. So if that's easier, he's going to be pretty good, honestly. Maybe even S, depending on how that feels. Zeus is going to kill people even faster, but he's also Feast or Famine. You're going to kill him even faster. And obviously gets a little bit worse with all these... Like, look at all these characters that are going to potentially be good, speculatively are going to be good. He can get run down by them as well. So I would probably throw him up there. And Zhang, well... Zhang's another character that overkills people, and he's going to be still pretty freaking tanky because of his passive, so that helps him. He's probably pretty decent in solo with some of the items. That tier 2 Bancross might be nice on him. Hard to say that I want to put him any more than A+ or S. Like, he's good at surviving a lot of these characters going on him, because he can just ult and turn on them, and it's going to be pretty tanky, so I actually throw him in A+. Am I missing anybody? Who's the most recent character? Bake? Oh, Nut. Yeah, no, wait. Nut is the recent character, and she's in here. Okay, yeah. Okay, cool. All right, so the tier list is done. Nice. So this is the speculative tier list on what will be meta post 9.5 revert, which is 11.6. Most likely will be 11.6. Of course, this is just speculative, like I said. We don't actually know, but based on what we knew about pre 9.5 and a lot of the changes that have happened since then, try to put that information together to kind of give you guys an idea of what it will feel like. Some things to take away is lots of early game kill potential, lots of running it down, might be some more Snowball, but also might be some less depending on how things shake out. But the main point I think you should take away is that it's going to be fresh and it's going to be fun. And I would say it's worth giving it a try, at least. And oh, and last thing, if you hate 9.5, then you're a Giga Chat and you're a good player. If you like 9.5, you're a fucking noob. Go play a different game. I'm just kidding. Sorry. That was harsh. But there's truth in every joke. Anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Stay safe and healthy as always. I'll see you in the next one. Peace. Yeah, dude, the no attack speed debuff on back camps is actually huge. I love that. Truth is always harsh, though. Anyway, I'd say this is pretty good. Honestly, it's speculative, but I would say it might end up being pretty accurate. I'd say this ends up being pretty accurate. If I had to bet money on it, might have some things wrong, but